morning. We are talking about today and yesterday. It's such a dynamic industry that not being left behind is a priority. Using technology, thinking about innovation, using innovation, leveraging it, it's not an option, it's mandatory. You can't stay behind of it because your competitors won't, but above all, your guests aren't behind. They are already using and thinking and living in this innovation, in this world that we are all living through. This is why I wanted to present you 3 tools that I personally tested, that I'm using on a daily basis in my job at the hotel, and that I trust, that can make a difference even for you. We will have 3 different speeches in these first hours. Valentina, Parasmo, the hotel network, you can join me on the stage. Right after Momo, Ramadori, the data pill, and then Linde, Borger from Hotels for Trees. So we are talking technology, AI, and sustainability, but not just talking. It's a very concrete sustainable action that you can all take. Valentina, the stage is yours.
Hi everyone, so good morning. Sorry I spoiled a bit what will be the presentation about, but yeah, welcome everyone. Thank you for being here such early with a long day ahead. So I'm gonna talk a bit about AI and guest experience today. Who am I? Well, I'm Valentina. I work at the Hotels Network, and our main goal is to produce growth to your direct channel. So the Hotels Network is a company that's based in Barcelona, and it was born with the idea of creating a network of hotels. So you can compare, analyze your direct conversion, your direct traffic, see where you have opportunities, and how you can take action through conversion and personalization tools to improve this. So just the agenda for today, we're gonna have a look first of all about artificial intelligence. Of course, this whole conference is about this, so just a quick intro. And then we're gonna have a look into the user journey in travel to analyze a bit better the steps and how this can artificial intelligence can impact the user journey. And finally, how we can drive more direct bookings, analyzing this user journey. So before starting, we have had a whole conference about artificial intelligence, and I don't know about you, I'm not a tech expert, but I work in a tech company, so I just wanted to take a step back and analyze what artificial intelligence actually means. So overall, artificial intelligence is any kind of machine or computer in which it can simulate or exceed the way that humans think. And within this is actually a huge umbrella that englobes also machine learning. It also englobes deep learning and generative AI, which is something that we've been talking a lot recently. Just to give some examples of these differences, because it can be a bit confusing, and these are also things that we use in our company. Machine learning, to understand a bit better, it's the way in which the machine gives output without us needing to train it. So just an example is Spotify. So when you listen to Spotify, the more songs you listen to, it will also give you a prediction of new songs that you can like. And the more information you input, the better is the output. If we take a step further, we go to deep learning, so things are a bit more complex here. And in this case, one example is facial recognition. And if we want to take it even further, is selfless driving cars, so cars that drive without no one having to drive them. And finally, if with deep learning we have new content, so for example, new videos, new images, then it's generative AI. And the example here is ChatGPT, for example. Great, now that we have had this quick intro, why is this important for us? Why are we doing this whole conference about artificial intelligence? Well, as you can see from the data here, this is some data that we have gathered from McKinsey, and you can see that the potential for different industries is huge. But especially for the travel industry, the potential to optimize the processes, it's really big. So we need to see how we can implement this. And of course, there are different ways. So for example, in terms of operations, we can make operations more optimized. We can make contactless check-in, for example. Or in terms of revenue management, we can predict the demand. In terms of marketing, we can personalize the user journey even more. For human resources, we can predict when we will need more staff. Staff, for example, is a huge problem in the hospitality industry, as I'm sure you're aware. So there are different use cases that we can apply artificial intelligence to. Today I'm going to talk about direct bookings. So just to see how we can apply this to direct bookings, I want to have a look with you at the user journey in travel. I'm sure you know this. I'm sure you know the steps of the user journey in travel. Here we can divide it into 3 macro categories. The pre-trip phase, in which the guest is looking for a destination, looking for a hotel, they're planning their stay, and then they leave. So we go to the travel phase. And in this case, they are staying at your hotel, they're exploring the destination, making the experiences, and then the final phase is the post-trip phase. So in this case, they come back home, they leave comments, reviews, they post on social media, so this is also a very important phase. However, from the hotelier perspective, I'm going to focus on the first macro category today, the pre-travel phase. So here, this is the phase in which the guest is choosing for a destination, but they're also choosing for an accommodation. They're choosing a hotel here. And not only it's important to make sure they choose your hotel, because you offer perks or the right needs that they're looking for, but also the channel in which they will book your hotel, right? So we want to make sure that they book through your direct channel rather than other channels. Why is this important? Well, here we have some figures to understand this importance. First of all, cost. So the cost of a direct booking is around 8%. If we talk about the same booking that comes from another channel, which can be an OTA, so online travel agencies, this cost rises significantly to 18%, as you can see here. This is also, it changes from market to market, so this is just an overview in general. But you can see that the costs change significantly. And furthermore, not only we're talking about cost, we're talking also about revenue. You can see here that direct bookings generate 20 to 40% more revenue if they're done directly. And you have also more benefits from it, which can be, for example, loyalty. So you can make your guests more loyal. You can cross-sell more easily. You can upsell easily. So these are all benefits that apply to direct bookings. I'm sure you know these benefits. I'm sure you know all of this. However, this is the usual user journey that we're facing today. So around 100% of your guests, of your users, will come to your website. Only 0.5% of these people will move to the booking engine. And if things go well, out of the 100% people who entered your homepage, only 2% will end up booking directly. So you can see there's a huge potential here. And why are the numbers that low? So first of all, because we're all treating users the same way. Someone comes to your website and they will have different needs, right? We might have families coming, might have solo travelers coming. However, they will all be exposed to the same content because you have a static website, how it's usually built. So I'm sure you know very well your target market, but let's just pretend that we have 3 different personas coming and visiting your hotel's website. We have, for example, Max. He's a young solo traveler, and he's looking for an accommodation. So in this case, he might be interested in staying at your hotel if you show this person that you have a co-working space, for example. However, this might not be very interesting to a couple that has a bit more budget. They might be interested maybe in a spa package. Finally, if a family comes, then it's, again, different needs. So in this case, a family might be interested in a kids club. But if you show a kids club to a solo traveler, he might not really be interested in it and just look for another hotel, right? So it's all about talking to the right person at the right time and personalizing the user journey so you can really tackle the need of your user and make sure they book, and they book directly. Great. Now that we have seen this, I wanted to share with you, because this is all about artificial intelligence, how we're making step furthers, how we're making this even more reactive in the personalization of the user journey. And I'm gonna take back the things that we have seen before, which are machine learning and generative AI. So in terms of machine learning, the first development that we did is we went cookieless. So this is also very important in terms of data protection. This is a result also based on the Google announcement that they did some time ago when they were saying they were planning on going cookieless at some point. Well, in this case, we replaced cookies, so we no longer rely on cookies when identifying users. We have a machine learning algorithm that can recognize user based on their behavior. So this not only allows us not to rely on cookies, but it also improves accuracy. It's easier for us to detect users, and it allows scalability. Because as we said before, machine learning, the more information you input, the better is the output. So the more people come, the more hotels we have in our network, the better will be the results. In terms of personalization, we have said that we need to offer the right message to the right person, right? And we do this based on the behavior that they have on your website. But we can make a step further. We can predict what the behavior of this user will be. So this is also very interesting, because not only if we see that the user is searching for a family stay, we'll show a family message, but we can also predict what will be the intention of the user. Will the user book at your hotel or not? Based on all the behavior and different things that we take into consideration more than 400 variables, so if I had to list everything, we'll be here for a while. We can see if someone is a high intent user, meaning someone will most likely complete the reservation, or a low intent user. They will probably leave your website. And based on this, we can also have strategies. So if someone is a low intent user, we want to retain them. So in this case, we might want to offer them a small discount, a 5% discount, for example, so we don't lose this user. If, however, we see that someone has a high intention of booking, in this case, if we offer them a discount, it will be like throwing it away. So instead, we want to have another strategy, which can be, for example, trying to increase the average booking value. So we might want to convince them to book a higher room category instead. So these are all strategies that we can use using predictive personalization and this machine learning algorithm. And not only we can apply these rules on your website, but also outside. So for example, if you have paid campaigns, especially retargeting campaigns, we can apply these rules and make sure that we only show these messages to the people who are really interested into it. And this is important because I'm sure you know this better than me. When you have, for example, retargeting campaigns, you pay per click or you pay per acquisition. So it's important that you're showing this message really to those who most likely will be convinced by it, instead of just showing it to a broad range of people. And finally, we also jumped into the trend of generative AI. So we said before, generative AI is anything in which we have new content, which can be text, voice, images, videos, etc. And what we have done is, I'm sure you know the concept of chatbot already. So we have the chatbot. You can ask something, and an AI assistant will reply. But we have also developed a voice assistant. So if you call the hotel, an AI assistant will speak to you. And will speak to you based on the information that we feed this voice assistant. And the more information we feed, the better is the output as well. And this is very important, especially for the hospitality industry, because of the, well, first of all, the staff issues that we have in the industry. But as well, the goal here is not to replace the person. This is an important point that we have talked about yesterday as well in other conferences. But here we want to improve the user journey. So for example, if no one replies at the reception because they might be busy with checkout times, etc., you might have an AI voice assistant that provides the information to the user in any language. So this is really interesting. So what I have shown today is just the potential of AI when we want to personalize the user journey, the guest experience. However, and I'm sure you have listened a bit about this as well, there are so many applications of AI in the travel industry in terms of sustainability that we will see soon as well, in terms of having more data, how to better react to this data, and as we saw before, how to personalize the user journey. Thank you.
Thanks, Valentina. I'm sure you will have a question for her. We can do that at the end of the session. And also in the one-to-one training in the afternoon, I will be showing these tools, because I use more than one, and other tools that I also use at the hotel. So there will be time for this more in details. Thanks. Momo. The stage is yours.
Hi everyone, I'm Momo Ramadori. I work, as Silvia said, in the company. And today my goal is to talk to you about how the AI can become the best ally for hospitality operators. Let's start from this quote that I really like, that there's no growth or success without change. The change that we are facing today is essentially the artificial intelligence. Last weeks, months, years, all about artificial intelligence, articles, stuff like that. But what I want to point out today is that if you're not trying to use this solution, these tools, today you are falling behind your competition, as Silvia also was saying in the introduction. Let's look quickly at some figures. 64% of hoteliers have already experimented with AI tools like ChatGPT. When I first saw this number, I said, okay, I thought it was lower. This is quite huge. And when they try it, the best benefit that they can find, at least for the 51% of the people, is the efficiency one. We'll see some benefits, we'll deep dive on it, but just keep in mind this. And I wanted also to have a figure about the market because I think it's really relevant. In 2022, the value for hospitality market of the artificial intelligence was like $90 million. And in 2033, it's gonna be like $8,120 million, of course, with a CIGR of 60%. But let's try to get deeper and understand which are the main benefits of the AI for hospitality operators, and try to see what can we do with the AI. Let's start from the personalized guest experiences. We also saw in the previous slide one, operational efficiency and enhanced customer service. Of course, this is part of what you can do, but I want to focus on this and also show you practical examples in a bit. So first one, personalized guest experience. AI, of course, enables hotels to analyze tons of data and do a lot of stuff. Let's think, for example, of the ability to analyze data, knowing the customer when they do the booking, when they give us the first information. We can, of course, for example, give to them suggestions such for local activities or dining suggestions, local attraction, and so on. There are also chatbots that is like the main relevant thing out there right now, and you can use them to answer 24/7 to the customers. I put here this example from Hilton's Connie. They have this concierge chatbot that helps essentially to answer all the time to all the questions and also do upsells and stuff because they know all the information from the hotel, but also from the customer itself, from the guest. And at the end, I also put this other example for voice assistants because they are already implemented in a lot of hotels, but with AI, they can tailor the experience, the room itself to the guest. The second one, relevant, is the operational efficiency. I mean, you can do a lot of stuff with AI. You can, for example, optimize the inventory management. staffing decisions, maintenance scheduling, but you can also analyze data better and be faster on taking decisions, on take actions. I mean, for example, forecasting demand, occupancy rates, and pricing strategies. The last one is the enhanced customer service part. I mean, again, when you are serving a customer, you need to do a lot of things. The customer service part can be automated with chatbots again. Inquiries, bookings, requests, emergencies can be managed through them, but also analyzing the feedback. Imagine that you have tons of feedbacks, pre-stay, post-stay, and you are able through AI to analyze the trends, to analyze how the customer feels, how the guest feels, and to take action in order to improve your service, improve your experience. And at the end, also sending customized messages, knowing the characteristic of the customer. But let's now look at some practical example that maybe is more interesting. As I said, I'm a product manager at DataPill, and I work in DI Coach. DI Coach is essentially a tool that allows you to gather all the feedbacks from the customers from different online sources, to analyze them and to understand their feeling, their sentiment. And with AI, we are able to give you suggestions, to let you take action in order to improve your sentiment and your online positioning and reputation. Let's see how we did it in 3 of our main features. First of all, I think is the one that you will think if you think about reputation management, and this is the possibility to answer to reviews through AI. Just imagine that you have to answer in the old way to a review. So you go to the platform, you read the review, you need translation maybe because you don't know the language. You go to Google Translate, you try to create your answer, then you use, okay, maybe with the tone of voice not so good, I need to change this and that. Then you go back to the platform and you publish it. Some minutes, some time is passed in these operations, let's say. With our tool from one platform, you can have all the channels, and in like up to 5 seconds, the AI will generate an answer for you, knowing your characteristics and also the tone of voice that you want to use, the length of the answer. And this, for example, is an operational efficiency upgrade to your day-to-day routine, let's say. Another really interesting example is the Smart Insight one. Just imagine that you have a human assistant right next to you that reads all the reviews or the line contents and gives to you a summary of it. So these are the highlights. This is the most relevant thing. This has the pros and the cons too. I find out that all the customers are talking good about this, are talking bad about that. And at the end, knowing all the stuff, it can also give you suggestions. How can I talk back to the customers? Because I know what they think. How can I effectively target them with my marketing campaigns, marketing posts, and so on? That's what essentially Smart Insight does. Also in this case, I would say it's both operational efficiency and enhancing the guest experience, because you also understand them better and are able to prepare a better offering for them. Last but not least is the destination preview model. We as a company have also aggregated data, destination data, and each hotel is in a territory. So when you analyze your data, you need also to know the context of it. And with Destination Preview, we give some information that you can use to better target your users, essentially. You have data such as events, such as the confirmed bookings from confirmed flight bookings, divided by country, divided by duration of stay, by booking window. You have also data about the OTA, prices, and saturation. And all these data are not always easy to be used, to be read, are not too actionable, let's say. And that's why also in this case we implemented AI. Because AI gives you tips to understand what's relevant and how you can combine this data to create the perfect strategy and marketing campaigns to target the right users with less effort and with a higher return on investment. Okay, so we saw some examples. All of this, if you want, is in our product, the iCoach. So with this QR code, if you want to scan it, essentially there are 15 days free trial where you can try it all. And then there will be, if you want, our sales to talk to you. Last step I wanted to highlight is the one related to how can I start using AI in my journey? How can I use it in my company if I'm not so confident? I think there are some steps that are essential. And first of all, AI is not the solution. It's a helper. It's a tool that you can use to solve your problems, but you need to know which problems to solve, essentially, before using AI. So my suggestion for the first step is to assess your needs. You need to understand your pain points, listen to your guests again from reviews, pre-stay, stay, feedback, service, and so on, and define objectives. Once you know what you need to improve, then you can move to the step 2. Step 2 is identify, of course, the right tools. There are tons of tools, website stuff out there today, like Product Hunt or Hugging Face. There are tons of places where you can find inspirations and tons of AI tools that solve your problems. I suggest to try them. Almost all of them are free trial, and to find the one that aligns with your operation. I think that AI must not disrupt your current routine, your current flow, but it must be integrated the right way within it. Third step is training and engagement of the team. Nowadays, the AI is seen as an enemy. I will be fired if you use AI because it's better than me, it's faster, it's cheaper. But the way you have to bring it into your structure is with a positive approach. It will empower the team. It will let us able, essentially, to do more with less effort and to focus on what is really, really relevant for us. Also, there's a suggestion to give, of course, training session. There are a lot of materials that can use to let at least have a basic understanding of what AI is and why we need to use it. Last but not least is the monitoring part. Every time that you implement something new, you need to, in my opinion at least, as a product manager, set KPIs to monitor it. So if you're doing something, you want to improve it, you need to understand what is going wrong, which are the KPIs that you want to monitor, and after implementing a different solution, understand if it, of course, improved your life. You can do it by data collection directly within the structure. If the solution you implement, if customer facing, of course, asking directly to the customers. And with all these feedbacks, you can then iterate and improve on top of it. So, again, I want to leave you with this with this quote, because I think that artificial intelligence, again, is not the solution. So you cannot say, okay, I'm going to pay for an artificial intelligence tool and everything will be solved. No, you need to know where you're going, why you're going there, and then artificial intelligence is the tool that can enable you to reach that goal faster in a more efficient way. That's it, thank you.
Thanks, Momo. You will be able to see this tool as well in the one-to-one training in the afternoon. Linde, it will seem now that we are totally changing the subject, but it is not. It is something different, but it also makes a huge difference within your staff, within your guests, and at least my personal point of view, on how I feel about my job. So I'm very glad to have Linde today. She will talk about hotels for trees.
Thank you, Silvia, for inviting me to join you on this session. I'd like to take you back to a moment in my life that really changed my perspective. It's Christmas, and I'm back home in the Netherlands together with my husband, enjoying a rare family holiday. Outside it's cold, typical Dutch winter weather. I'm from the Netherlands. But inside it's filled with warmth and laughter. Suddenly the phone rings. It's my husband's phone. He steps out, and I see his facial expression changes. It's a call from South Australia, where we work and live. My husband is the general manager of a wine estate in the beautiful Adelaide Hills. And the news is devastating. There's a huge bushfire roaming the area. It can be very hot in South Australia during summer. Temperatures rise over 40 degrees. The damage is severe. Nearby businesses have been wiped out. Homes are lost and people are left with nothing. It's that Christmas that we realize how fragile our connection to the land is and what rising temperatures globally can do to our Earth. Global warming is a significant threat to the hospitality industry. Rising temperatures and unpredictable weather conditions can disrupt travel and damage natural attractions. It can rise operational costs due to high demands for cooling. And coastal resorts face the threat of rising sea levels. Extreme weather conditions can cause cancellations and reduce travel in affected areas. So what does the future of hospitality mean? Is it defined by AI and technology? Or is it driven by sustainability? When I hear the word future, I think of trees. Trees are more than just part of a nice scenery. They give us oxygen, clean air, food, coolness, water, and shade. They're important for biodiversity and are a habitat for countless of plants and trees. Our world needs more trees to ensure a sustainable future. What if we can plant trees collectively in our industry? Imagine planting trees with our hotel guests, making use of technology. I'm Linde Borger, and I'm leading the Hotels for Trees Foundation that realizes this dream. Let's take a look at our video to show you how this is done.
Imagine improving guest satisfaction while contributing to a greener planet and elevating your hotel's reputation towards guests, bookers, and employees. Now you can, thanks to Hotels for Trees. Partners of Hotels for Trees plant a new tree every time their guests decide to skip their daily room cleaning. It's that simple. And the impact? Well, each room cleaning skipped adds one more tree to reforestation projects around the globe. Why? The hotel industry and its associated travel, services, and deliveries together generate more than 1% of all global CO2 emissions. Hotels for Trees strives to counterbalance this by providing guests with a transparent opportunity to offset a part of their journey's carbon footprint. Any hotel, regardless of chain or star rating, can easily join this initiative. Just head over to hotelsfortrees.com, create your account, load your hotel's content, and the tree planting process begins. Here's how it works. A guest books a stay at a participating hotel and uses the unique Hotels for Trees door hanger or a hotel-specific software tool to choose trees over room cleaning. The total number of trees planted is showcased on the hotel's own result page, widget, interactive tree counter, and TV signage. Hotels for Trees invoices the hotels and then ensures all trees are planted and certified. In some of the top-performing hotels, up to 40% of all stay-over guests choose to plant trees instead of daily room cleaning. It's a win-win-win for guests, hotels, and the planet. Imagine the benefits: reduced cleaning costs, less pressure on housekeeping teams, improved lead conversion, more engaged colleagues, elevated guest satisfaction, and ultimately, a greener planet. And let's not overlook that donations are tax-deductible in most countries. For those wondering, how can I be sure that the trees will really get planted? Our accredited reforestation partners ensure certified trees are planted in projects across the globe, which allows us to make an impact in all regions where we have partners. Join us and hundreds of other hotels in our goal of planting at least 1 million trees per year. So, what are you waiting for? Head to hotelsfortrees.com and let's make every stay count for a greener and happier planet. hotelsfortrees.com. Plant a tree for free.
As you can see in this video, we believe the future of hospitality lies in leveraging technology to build a more sustainable future. Through our biggest partner, Muse, guests are already having the green option during the online check-in. And soon, this option will also be available at booking stage. We're working currently on an open API structure in which we will be able to integrate with many more software solution partners. And the impact of the guest's green choice can already be seen on the Hotels for Trees website the very next day and contributes to forestation projects around the globe. We even have hotel partners that live next to plant locations and send their guests for a run to look at the trees we planted together. It's amazing. What sets Hotels for Trees apart is its transparency, its simplicity, and its seamless automation of technology. But not only that, we're educating guests, we're creating guest awareness. With so many guests coming through our doors in our hotels, we have the opportunity to educate them. I stay in Una hotels here in Florence, and I was pleasantly surprised by a whole list of tips that they gave me on how to make my stay at the hotel more conscious. I was really surprised, it's amazing. And yesterday, I joined a session about science behavior. And there it was said that when guests at home are living their lives consciously, they often let that slide when they travel because they want to focus on their experience and they want to relax. Well, making these tips to the guest and having them giving the option to skip the cleaning and plant a tree, you press that sustainable button again with these guests, reactivate it really. And also for the non-conscious traveler, it takes little intrinsic motivation to skip the cleaning and plant a tree because we don't clean our bathrooms every day either. So it's really a simple choice to make. Also, it's lowering the pressure on housekeeping, as you could see in the video. Around our hotel partners, about 40% of the stayover guests make this choice. It's significant. In fact, Silvia, her hotel, she's one of our biggest planters. Silvia is planting 15 trees per month, per room, with her guests. It's amazing. Let's give Silvia an applause.
It's actually my guests and my staff that are very good at that. And I just wanted to add one thing. Of course, I have the Muse option, so before their stay actually starts, we already know who's going to skip the cleaning, and that works quite well. But we also have our own handmade wooden door hanger, and guests influence each other.
Yeah.
Once they open the door in the morning and check around them in the corridor, all the door hangers to plant a tree, they usually add their own if they didn't thought about that in the first place. So some morning it's happened that we arrive and we have no cleaning at all. Beside, of course, checkout room. And it happens quite often. I always walk around the hotel in the morning because I'm curious. I don't really manage that myself, but I'm curious. So I always do a tour like around 7:30 in the morning. And maybe I have two dots on Muse, and then other 3 door hangers on the door, and then you do the same tour at 9 a.m. and we have to add maybe 5, 6, 7 trees. So it's actually a good feeling when you do that.
Yeah, thank you for sharing your experience with our initiative. Yeah, so we get direct guest feedback as well, saying that they love the fact that they're able to contribute during their stay. And yeah, as Silvia shared, lots of guests making use of this option. It's saving costs as well, because on average, it costs about 10 euros to clean a room. And if you don't clean that, it saves you that 10 euros. And 5 euros of that is going to plant a tree. So it's a win-win-win, as the video indeed said. Skipping the room cleaning and calling that green, only skipping the room cleaning, these days will soon be past, because the reduction on water, electricity, chemicals is simply not enough to make an impact. While if you add a tree, you really make a significant impact. So we're proudly making an impact with currently 240 partners across the globe. And the last 3 years, we've planted about 500,000 trees altogether, and our aim is to plant 1 million trees. So around the world, hotels have started to implement initiatives like this to reduce their carbon footprint and to run their operations more sustainably friendly, environmental friendly. And while this is all good, the focus seems to be on the financials, and wider aspects are often overlooked. It's time that hotels are starting to look beyond the cost and starting to realize that sustainability is not just about profit and loss. Hotels that run a more sustainable operation tap into a growing segment of the market. They often have higher occupancy rates, and they can justify premium rates because guests are willing to pay more for an eco-friendly stay. So it's driving revenues, and it's also creating this very loyal base that often returns. Also, sustainable operations can be a very powerful tool to attract and retain talent, because the younger generation values sustainability and ethical business practices. They really are proud of initiatives that hotels are taking towards a more sustainable future. When I was head of commercial in many of the Hilton hotels I worked, my team was actually providing me feedback that part of their loyalty to the company was because of our progressive approach towards sustainability. And they were very eager to come up with their own ideas to make an even bigger impact. And it was really driving our company culture. It was driving our team spirit, and this ultimately enhances the guest experience. A sustainable image currently in this time is very important at a time when companies are being judged by their social responsibility. And running your operations more sustainably can really enhance that image. Sustainability is currently part of RFPs that corporates are submitting to your company. They want hotels to disclose more about sustainable practices, and initiatives like these can enhance that. So I'd like to share a few steps that hotels can take and adopt a holistic approach to sustainability. Firstly, create a team. Create a team that's responsible to drive your sustainability in your property. Encourage the team to come up with their own ideas and involve them in initiatives. And really important is to discuss and share your initiatives with your stakeholders and with your guests, to really show that you're making an impact and involve everyone in your sustainable strategy. Then it's important to look at ways on how you can reduce the negative impact that you're making. So look at how much water and electricity you use, or how much food you waste, and how much waste you produce in general. And then I want you to think about, where can I reduce? Can I buy more local food? Or can I reduce on food waste? You could, for example, work with companies that make maximum usage of computer vision and AI. Companies that put a scale on top of the waste bin, or a camera on top of a waste bin that is connected to a scale and that registers food up until ingredient level. This is a great way to educate your kitchen teams and support a more efficient procurement. Then you need to create a positive impact, because in our industry we can never not emit CO2. We will always need to find ways to compensate. So you can plant trees with your guests through Hotels for Trees, but you should also look at making a social impact and having an impact on the community. So we have hotel partners that, for example, have 5 rooms that they give to homeless people, providing them a bed, offering food from the buffet. Will give them an opportunity to make them feel human again and support their application process, finding a job. But it can also be as easy as developing your team, or like Yuna Hotel did, trying to make the guests more conscious during their travels. And then finally, you measure your impact. You measure your progress regularly and to make sure if you're actually making an impact. And if you're not making an impact, you need to change your approach. Make an impact and then manage your impact to make sure it grows. And then report on it. Transparency in reporting is very crucial to maintain the trust of your team members and of your guests. So in conclusion, in order for hotels to thrive with the face of these current challenges, it is vital that they adopt sustainable practices and that they make a contribution to protect our environment and the community on which it depends. Sustainability has the potential to attract and retain talent, to engage guests, and to promote a positive impact into society. It's vital that hotels embrace these benefits and start seeing sustainability as part of their business practices. So let's take action. Reduce on food waste, bottle your own water, or plant trees with Hotels for Trees. I'm excited to see what the future of hospitality will look like in a few years from now. But let's work together and make it a sustainable one. And therefore, I warmly invite you all to join us on our mission and make this happen. Grazie mille.
Thanks, Linde. So we have 4 minutes before the next session. So if you have questions for Valentina, Momo, or Linde, they're here for you. I just wanted to add something. As Linde is aware, I started 5 years ago at the hotel, trying to make a difference for myself first, I have to admit, and then for my staff and my guests. And so we started by reducing waste and then making a difference with the local community, planting trees, only sustainable energy, reverting back to compensate. So now we checked all the tick box. It's not easy. It's really not easy. Finding providers is not easy. Finding the right providers is really not easy. At the beginning, you might have, I had it at some points, more than once, the impression that guests don't care. It's not true, because this is my first season doing that, and this summer, almost any reviews and comments online was mentioning our sustainable approach. Most reviews were only mentioning that. It was all about that. Guests talk about that. They want to make offer to do something for some local onlus that we support. So it really makes a difference in the end. It's a long run, but start it at some point. This is my tip. If you have any question for Valentina or Momo and Linde? Nobody? Then, oh, yeah, sorry.
Thank you. A question for Valentina. Almost for everybody. I get the sense sometimes that the authors are ready for the AI, but not as well are the guests are staying in the authors. So how can we make them feel more comfortable introducing the AI in our processes?
Thanks for the question. I'm just gonna come back here so you can all see me. Yeah, this is a great question. I think especially with things that are very innovative, for example, the voice assistant that I showed before, there is a bit of resistance, when you speak to something that is registered, something that is not human, especially when we suggest to hotels. They say, I'm not sure I'm ready to do this. I don't know what is the impact that it will have also to our guests if it will work. So the thing here is that we say it's not going to replace the person. So the idea is that we optimize the services. Also what we have seen before, technology is here to help us to optimize processes. So just an example from the voice assistant again. When they call, they will speak to they might call the reception. The reception, there might be no one because they might be busy. So they will be redirected to this voice assistant. And with this voice assistant, they will speak, but they can also leave a message if they prefer, so that the hotel can answer afterwards. Otherwise, if it's something direct, they might ask, no, I want to speak directly with the hotel. So the idea here is that we're not excluding the humanized experience, and this is what makes it more approachable, I would say, from my perspective. So from this point of view. Then, of course, the personalization, I think it's something that we're more used to. So also seeing messages that apply, I think this is something that we're more and more used to. For example, just talking about social media, the algorithms are also very much based on our data or inputs, so it's something that we're already used to and being exposed already.
You will be able to listen to the voice assistant in the one-to-one training in the afternoon, so you get a better idea of what you are talking about. I think according to the origin of the guests, some of them might not even realize it's not a person. So you will listen to it. So thank you so much. If there are no other questions, we'll have it. Now it's a 3 minutes break before the next panel. I'm already telling you the next panel is about the future is here. And some hospitality company really started by asking, what do guests really want? And they answer to it. So I'm really happy to have them here today.